Banana Boys versus Fire Nation. This is going to be game number one. This is Sano ban, and the Chrononews is going to be the response to that immediately. Nothing out of the ordinary there. I think Chrononews will eventually start to trickle his way down out of the ban phase and more into the pick phase more often than he is banned. But still, we're just console Smite, and we're playing with what we know right now. Gently considering what they're going to be banning and going ahead and just going to get rid of the Bologna. Not going to want to see that presence in the solo lane. I think Osiris will probably be a decent ban, but Bastet actually going to be taken out of the hands of Smutty Smurf himself. The first pick could be whatever they want right here. I think Osiris would be pretty good to put that in the solo lane, but we will see. There's a lot of options they could go here if they wanted to immediately get their duo lane, start putting that together and grab a Ho Yi or possibly even that other really powerful character, Medusa, but they're just going to take some careful thought into what they need to do right here. Opwash going to actually be the immediate lock-in, I think. Definitely knowing that Fire Nation is not one of the prominent winning teams right now, so they're probably just going to be relaxing and playing the game a little more lackadaisical against Fire Nation, which I don't blame them. Fire Nation has been struggling, but I'm glad that they're still in the league. Having a team stay in the league regardless of how good or bad they are is fine. Kumakarn are going to be locked in response. Looks like they're not going for meta either. They're just going to pick their comfort picks and pick whatever makes them happy right now.
I mean, definitely teams that stay in the league have shown improvement over teams that have just left. I mean, teams that have left without notification, of course, won't be returning. Because, you know, it's just a dick move in general.
Yeah, teams that go AFK on us, they do not tell the next team that they will not be playing them. They don't talk to admins. They just go AWOL and don't respond to us. They will not be allowed into the Demigod League, which is essentially the Challenger Circuit for next split. So be wary of that if you're considering dropping, to just stick with it, stick it out for a few more weeks. If you don't make the tournament, you'll get a break then. And after the regular season games, you don't have to put yourself through the Challenger Gauntlet either, so just stick it out a few more weeks. It's only once a week that you lose, or once a week you have to go through long, horrible games. But anyways, Ho Yi going to be locked in, a top-tier hunter, as well as Soul, a top-tier mid laner, so it's probably going to be Opwash headed to the solo lane. I think that's the only role that Opwash is viable in with the current picks that I'm seeing from the Banana Boys right now. But wherever they put it, I don't think they're going to mind. Neath also going to be locked in. 3 very easy comfort picks picked by Fire Nation, not wanting to go and step out of their bounds and pick something that might be more of a meta pick, but they're not quite as experienced with, so I don't blame them. Going up against Banana Boys, who are also a pretty prominent winning team, and definitely tournament contenders. I'm hoping to see them make a run on the back of Smutty Smurf to a championship, if they wanted to do so, but Fire Nation just needs to pick what they know right now and see if they can't make Banana Boys flinch a little bit or work a little bit harder to grab what they want.
I'm just really sad I couldn't get a trophy for us. Like, I mean, I would love to have just gotten a huge trophy.
Trophies are expensive, and this is a community-run league, and as much money as we.
I would have looked at it, gotten opinions, hopefully, but nobody wants plaques. Obviously, everyone voted. More people voted for plaques as of right now. I mean, for gift cards, so I'm more geared up to getting those gift cards. Probably going to be Amazon, because literally Amazon's just cash. Let's not lie here, people. Amazon is cash you spend on the internet.
Gift cards are gift cards.
Gift cards are gift cards. But, yeah, I'm just a little sad.
So the ban's actually in the second phase is going to be the Odin Kepri, trying to keep the sustain from Chalk online as well as Neath. The Odin ban wasn't super necessary. Both Chalk and Neath both have ways to get out of that gauge, but that anti-heal could get pretty pesky into a big team fight where you're trying to sustain yourself through it. Poseidon going to be hovered at. I think that's actually a really good pick. He's still very much so in the meta, and he's still very strong with that Gem of Isolation. Whirlpool can hold characters like Ho Yi in place, as well as Opwash, who, yeah, Opwash doesn't have that leap, but being slowed and held in place is a very strong mechanic, and if used correctly, could get them kills. And the Poseidon was locked in, so the last 2 picks from Banana Boys are on the board right now. Going to be interesting to see how they want to counter out these picks, and it's going to be a Sun Wukong most likely going up against the Chaka. Would have liked to see, if they're going for the most professional draft, an Osiris, honestly, but if they're hovering on a Sun Wukong, that makes me curious as to where that Opwash is going to go with that Soul in the mid lane, and an Opwash most likely going into the solo lane. That could be a Sun Wukong going into the duo lane, however, we haven't seen a jungler be hovered on yet, so we don't even know if Smutty Smurf possibly locked in that Opwash for himself.
I mean, it's a thing, I guess. I mean, if he makes it a thing, it's a thing.
It's not so much that it's a thing. They can honestly do what they want, and that's not me insulting Fire Nation at all. They're just a young team, and Banana Boy is a very solid unit. So Sun Wukong and Baka's going to both be locked in, so it's almost certainly going to be Opwash for Smutty Smurf, and the God training has commenced, and so far no moves on the side of Banana Boys and no moves on the side of Fire Nation. The Fire Nation draft has some interesting picks in it. I don't think the Neath was the greatest pick. I don't think the Kumba was the greatest pick, but that Wheelix Poseidon combination could come online pretty quick and try and snowball them into a pretty good mid-game, late-game fight to see if they can't get something rolling here. But Kumba Karna Neath lane is not a lane you hardly ever see in upper play, and that Bacchus Hou-Yi lane is definitely something we're going to see every once in a while, so I think Banana Boys are pretty well in tune to take this game, but that Opwash in the jungle could get punished if Fire Nation does decide they want to punish them. So just have to be careful here if you're Banana Boys in that jungle, but after you get off to a good start, you should be okay.
Alright, and it looks like the Smutty Smurf will be going Outwatch jungle.
Yes, the God trading went through, and he's going to keep it. He's going to hold on to Opwash jungle and show us something a little bit more colorful to look at in these games. So we usually see him pick up. I know Smutty Smurf loves the Kali, loves the Wheelix, loves the Sasano, but today we're going to be seeing Opwash.
For all we know, we could see a whole new team out of Fire Nation tonight, and this might be just a night that they get Banana Boys gets caught off guard here.
It'd be interesting to see if Fire Nation did grab a game off of them. If they won this first game or came back in the second game and beat them, it'd be much more enticing to watch to see how Banana Boys respond to that if they keep playing lackadaisical, or we see immediate Bologna bans and Osiris pickups and prioritizing more meta picks and trying to truly play for the win. That Opwash pickup doesn't tell me they're playing to win. They're playing to just have fun, and they're pretty confident the win will come along the way. So we'll definitely see what Banana Boys puts together here.
I'm assuming you've seen the patch notes, right, Tyner?
Yes, I read through them while I was at work. I read through them the best I can. I know a lot of it.
So what do you think about that bracer nerf where I think they upped the amount of health you gain back, but they took down the 2-second cooldown reduction.
The 3-second cooldown reduction. Bracer, yeah, the cooldown reduction wasn't really what made Bracer so prominent. I mean, nobody got Bracer because of the 3-second cooldown. I never bought it thinking that 3-second cooldown was going to help me in any way more significant than maybe getting an extra kill on a team fight or bailing me out of a team fight. But the extra health regen was what made it so good, able to take so much damage and walk away with more than half a bar of health. But that nerf is decent, I guess. We're still going to be seeing a big Bracer meta going into the next split, going into the days after this patch. So I'm not really satisfied with it. I think the Bracer should have been locked at maybe a 30 to 40% regen with with a much longer cooldown and no cooldown reduction, or even if they left the cooldown reduction on there, it wouldn't have mattered to me. But Bracer is still Bracer, and that's not going to change. We're still going to see a lot of Odins and a lot of anti-heal.
Alright, Odin's so good. I mean, I guess not so good, but pretty good in this Bracer meta, where teams are relying on that. But now that Ghost has that pretty nice buff.
The Phantom Veil, yes. The Phantom Veil providing damage mitigation, correct? I believe 15% damage mitigation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to definitely help against that Odin, even with Bracer meta being so prominent and so many Odins being seen. A support could pick up that Phantom Veil, and in the middle of a team fight with the cage, you just pop it and run at people. You take that reduced damage. I'm also curious to see how the horrific emblem is going to play. That damage reduction is huge. Getting a character like Osiris or Bologna, both characters that could dive a backline pretty efficiently and pretty effectively. They run to that backline. They use that horrific emblem to reduce their damage and hold them in place. The team could just rip them apart. And with that reduced damage, their counter engage is that much weaker. So I am curious to see how that one's going to play out. But pretty soon we're going to be getting into the game here. But that is definitely one of the more interesting changes. I think that's going to be one that changes the meta a little bit. I also think Heavenly Agility or Heavenly Wing or whatever the hell it's called, Sprint for your team, retains slow immunity throughout the entire duration. That is one pet peeve I've had, is that active is garbage. There's really no reason to get it because constant reapplying slows make that active absolutely worthless. You can just reapply a slow after you cleanse it. So keeping people immune to those slows during the duration, I think that's just strong, and that's just it's the way the active should be. But we'll see how that plays out, for sure. But we'll definitely be seeing it more often against these comps with souls and Odins with slows and all the slows in the world, op washes, but it's a slow meta right now, and that heavenly agility buff is going to be very, very helpful.
Right.
My UI is
Also,
slowly
take a
loading
second
in.
to respect the fact that Curse of Ankh got a huge buff.
Cursed Ankh, it got, it gave, I know it still reduces healing. You'll have to fill me in on that one. I read it.
15%.
15%.
15%. I think 20 actually. 20 or 15% extra mana costs on all abilities.
Right. Extra mana cost on the abilities, plus it adds cooldown.
Like,
I don't think it's crazy, but I do think it adds utility in a team fight. It's another one of those pop it early in the team fight and force them at a disadvantage already. It's going to be something Warriors and Guardians are going to be picking up so often when they go and dive a backline and just putting them at it, forcing them into a disadvantage by just pressing a button. So we will definitely see. Anyways, I'm actually in the game here. There is going to be Smutty Smurf on the side of Banana Boys. McNugget the Cat is going to reprise his role in the mid lane. Bears fan 54 into the duo lane, matched with What Brony, a substitute for them on that Bacchus, and another substitute on Ant-Man 518 over in the solo lane, repping the Sun Wukong, the real Prez, going back into the jungle as a Wheelix D-Love 1996. In the mid lane as Poseidon, B-Boy Nightmare G. In the duo lane as Neath, partnered with Da Active Slaking on Kumbhakarna. Kumbhakarna and that name work really well. Subs Envy in that solo lane as the Chalk. So already I see one pretty outlier start. The Chalk picking, Subs Envy picking up a full attack speed boots on that Chalk into that solo lane. That sustain is not there right now. I think even with the passive not using mana for abilities, that heal isn't going to be enough to keep up with the poke that's going to be coming out of the opposition in Ant-Man. That Cudgel's going to be coming down and hitting pretty hard.
Oh yeah, that Cudgel does 25% extra damage to the minions, and it still has that reach, and it's very maneuverable while you're casting it. So you can, you almost always hit your Cudgel.
It's very easy to hit the ability, and because you can maneuver while you're casting the ability, you can just keep the targeter on the enemy, and almost every single time you'll hit them. So that Ninja Tab Eye isn't going to provide anything when it comes to sustain. A Mark of the Vanguard, even though it's not really in the meta, would have been such a better choice.
Here, it looks like.
Potentially the real Prez in a lot of trouble in the mid lane. Only a couple more auto attacks are needed. Smutty Smurf going to get first blood on Opwash. Not really what you want to see, and D-Love making a pretty interesting decision there to stick around towards the front of that tower and eat so much poke coming out of the two in that mid lane. All across the map again, already over in that right lane. A full mana bar isn't going to keep that health bar full, and that poke from Ant-Man is going to keep him suppressed under his tower. So already Fire Nation on their heels. I didn't even watch it. Somebody Smurf was able to pick up D-Love in that mid lane. The second kill for him. That's going to leave them perfectly open to go in and grab that speed buff.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on here for Fire Nation.
I think overall it's just misuse of this meta. All across the board, the builds look a little weird. The real Prez on that Wheelix actually has a decent start for them trying to get to the solo lane over there. Subs Envy actually went back to base. He was pretty low. I tried to go and see that action. Real Prez, however, going to go down. I wasn't able to hover on him. Smutty Smurf was able to pick himself yet. Another kill.
And this is what I keep saying, just like when we talk about Cdom playing other gods and such. It's all about the fundamentals in the jungle. You can play any god in the jungle as long as you know how to play them and you know the fundamentals of jungling. You know how to get the camps, know what
you can play any god in the jungle as long as you know the fundamentals and the enemy team isn't prepared for it. So obviously this Opwash Fire Nation not at all prepared to see an Opwash going in the jungle. And I think any upper team or any more well-knit team is going to do perfectly fine against an Opwash. They would immediately poked him down early, but Fire Nation just a little too nervous going up against Banana Boys. So we'll definitely see how the rest of the game plays out, but already it's just a big advantage for Banana Boys. D-Love needs to be careful staying in this mid lane with that damage from McNugget the Cat that'll probably come through. An easy amount of damage should be coming out of him to get that kill, and McNugget the Cat getting himself on the board. 1-0-2 on that soul, already at level 5. His opposition in that mid lane only at level 3. The level difference is already pretty astounding.
And Wheelix going in on the soul, so ulting.
It's a lot of damage on the McNugget the Cat. No response right now coming out of Banana Boys, but Real Prez doesn't have any other cooldowns to waste to try and get that kill on the McNugget. However, he's got to be careful because right around the corner is Smutty Smurf. Not able to get the kill quite yet, however, Smutty Smurf going to grab it after the setup from what Brony came through. Good for him to grab that kill. McNugget the Cat was also saved in the process. 5-0 already for Banana Boys. There's only so much I can say.
We've seen worse starts, let's put it that way.
This is for sure, and I think this is definitely something I expected. Fire Nation, not really a team that's well-knit enough to compete with the upper teams in this league so far. Probably looking at a DGL tryout for themselves, but Banana Boys looking at the Titan League for next split and coming out strong and proving their worth for sure. Already sitting at an almost 3,000 gold lead at the 3-minute and 50-second mark. Over in that dual lane, what Brony was able to get the kill onto the opposition. B-Boy Nightmare was going to go down there. I didn't see all the action right there, but a rotation from mid lane is D-Love, but without that Kraken, I don't see anything but bad things coming out of that. Yeah, only wasting a little bit of mana, and that Aegis is forced to come out. Oh, a big bounce. Bears fan able to find a really clean ricochet to grab deactive slaking. I'm just going to call him slaking. The second one, not going to be quite as great. That was a really good ricochet.
I'm not gonna lie here. I'm not gonna match words with that Hoyi bounce, but that was sexy. That was a sexy, sexy bounce.
Damage out of Ant-Man is actually going to be what picks up the kill there. The Smutty Smurf did almost his entire health bar, but the follow-up was what got that kill. And yeah, that ricochet. A Hoyi player that knows their ricochets is one of the most dangerous things. They could poke you under tower. They could poke you when you're sitting in front of tower. When you're doing a buff, if you're standing in the wrong spot, they could get the correct ricochet to take that buff from you and chunk your health down. So I don't think Hoyi is the greatest character. However, if used correctly, he's so annoying to go against, and the damage is ridiculous.
The enemy Hoyi or the Hoyi on your team has to know the spots.
Big damage coming out in mid lane. D-Love not going to quite go down. Smutty Smurf tried to blink in and make a play, but he didn't quite hit all the abilities necessary. A lot of contention going on at this damage buff right now. Bears fan was able to secure that for himself, so sitting at 2 levels ahead in a level 3 Goomba Karna on the side of Fire Nation. Ant-Man able to get himself another kill, and a double kill is going to go his way. The real Prez as well as Subs Envy both going to go down, eating the jungler and the solo laner alive. I wish I could be more excited, but it's so far just a big landslide. Almost going to be 5,000 gold after this tower probably goes down and right. Banana Boy is just such a strong team.
Oh, did you think that the Bancroft's nerf was warranted? There with that 20,
escaping
that 20%
out and left. Honestly, Bancroft's... I don't think it was that big of a nerf. They only reduced the base lifesteal and they made it more expensive. So for 200 more gold, you still get a lot of power and a lot of sustainability in lane. For honestly, starting at 550, Tiny Trinket is really easy. Makes it really easy to build into. So I think the nerf was definitely warranted. I think that item needed to be toned down a little bit. However, will it be gone? Probably going to see less play for sure. McNugget the Cat grabbing that kill over at that Fire Elemental. A level 3 of Wheelix waiting there for him. Ant-Man going to get a big chunk of his health taken away from the mid lane D-Love. But the responses are going to be strong enough. D-Love will not be able to pick up the kill onto Ant-Man. Ant-Man just a little too tanky right now. The lead is astounding for Banana Boys right now. They have 2 characters on the map for Fire Nation that do not have ultimates online.
Yeah, but Bancroft's Talon, back to that, I really like the item. It gives you 100 power. I was reading it today. Apparently it gives you 100 power.
It gives you 100 power. No, it is not a typo. It gives you 100 power, and the passive is this. For every % of health that you have missing, you gain 1 power. So if a character is sitting at 50% health, because they're missing 50% health, they gain 50 power, which makes that item work really, really well on gods like Thoth that are going to have a lot of issues with getting outpoked. It's going to give them that extra lifesteal too, so it scales very well. Not going to have to find that ricochet over in that left lane to find that kill. Poor Bears fan just didn't quite find that last ability. With no mana, B-Boy Nightmare is going to try and respond, but Bears fan not afraid to out-trade that poke right now. But anyways, yeah, it just provides a ton of power and a ton of lifesteal. It's pretty much the name of that item, and it does it very well. Bears fan, however, going to find a really nice ricochet to get a kill there. But Slaking going to be the next victim here. A few more auto attacks should do it. Smutty Smurf able to find a kill onto the enemy Hunter. A 3-0 wipe so far.
I think he's actually trying to say is slacking. Deactive slacking.
Deactive slaking.
Deactive slacking. I think that's what he was going for. Like, as in he was like being lazy. Kind of works with the Kumbhakarna.
Sure.
A little unstable.
Anyway, so you were saying about Mancroft's talent?
That's pretty much the name of the item. It just gives a lot of power and it gives a lot of lifesteal for characters in the mid lane that might not be as safe and sustained like a Thoth. A Thoth makes really good use of the item because all of their his abilities are constantly healing him up. 14-0 already for Banana Boys, just a landslide so far. We're reaching close to an 8,000 gold lead, and for Fire Nation, I really would start considering and looking at how you're playing right now and start looking at what Banana Boys is doing. Look at their rotations, look at how they're fighting, and see if you can't pick a page out of their book to try and make yourselves better. McNugget to Cat, not afraid of the fight against D-Love. The Aegis is actually going to be very intelligently used by D-Love. I will give him that. That was a perfect Aegis to reduce the damage from that ultimate, as well as make sure that Brony couldn't get anything there. But D-Love has an issue with staying in lane just too long. The Kraken's going to come out, but a kill probably still won't come. Soul has that crazy immunity. Gotta be careful if you're McNugget. B-Boy Nightmare actually was able to get himself on the map, able to get a kill on Ant-Man.
Good job for him.
Bears fan looks like he might be the next victim here. Going to get stunned out, but the bead should keep him alive. The peel from What Brony is going to be there, but What Brony able to get himself a kill, even if he is pretty low. Real Prez has that ultimate online if he wants to grab that. Yes. Real Prez was able to get himself a kill right there. So a couple of misplays coming out of Banana Boys. Nothing gigantic, but I think going against a level 11 Smutty Smurf on that off-wash could be a mistake for Real Prez. Gotta be careful.
Oh, so what do you think those Bologna nerfs were necessary, and the fact that they didn't really nerf Osiris? I mean, they gave reasons for it, but do you think that Bologna should have been nerfed and not Osiris? You know, the one that can go up against her.
Bologna was the one that was nerfed, and they increased the cooldown on her. It's the hammer. I should know the ability. It is called
Bludgeon.
Bludgeon. Yes, they increased the cooldown on her bludgeon, and they reduced her base attack scaling. Not gonna really.
Not reduce. That would be a buff. That'd be huge.
No, they decreased the auto attack scaling. So instead of starting out at 38, she starts out at 32 for auto attacks. I'm pretty sure, or 38 to 32 or 36, something like that. Not gonna be big enough to pull her out of the meta. No, they not gonna be enough to pull her out of the meta. I think that increased cooldown is gonna give a lot of solo laners a little bit more wiggle room to try and clear away for themselves before they get harassed by another bludgeon. Which a 10-second cooldown doesn't sound like it's the shortest cooldown, but when you're Bologna, it's short enough to be able to get so much poke out in such a short amount of time.
I mean, about at level 1, I can usually, as a Bologna, I can usually clear wave, turn on my opponent, hit him with a bludgeon, and then hit into the back archers, and then hit another bludgeon on the front archers by the time it's going on. And there's gonna be a fire giant here.
Fire Giant is going to be the call at 11 minutes and 7 seconds. They're going real quick to this Fire Giant. All the damage and bursts coming out right now for Banana Boys to try and secure this for themselves. They are able to grab it, and I think this is definitely going to be the start of an early game siege to try and grab a couple of towers. Even if in left lane, that tier 2 is being threatened, grouped up as 5 in that mid lane, they'll definitely be able to roar down this mid lane before they grab that tier 2 in left. What Brony in a lot of danger over that right jungle. Subs Envy able to get himself a kill. 1-1-1, even with the interesting build and interesting start. However, Real Prez just going to get melted. McNugget the Cat able to grab that one. That's Soul just tearing through people right now.
Do you think Ninja Tabby outplays Sunshock, in your personal opinion? I mean, he's an ability-based god. Not basic-based god, not base god.
So one of the stronger things, there is a case. I do think there's a case. Would I ever do it? No. Do I think a good player would do it? No. However, one mechanic of Shock is that he can throw the axe and then use the heal, and he can double stack that slow. That actually gives him a lot of time to throw out auto attacks against his opposition. So there are times where it does increase the damage, and it seems to work really well, but it's pretty situational. And overall, you really do want the increased scaling on your healing and the increased power in your abilities, more so than you want the 20% attack speed, which doesn't increase your heal. So McNugget actually going to get pulled there, but the bead's going to be wisely used from him. Real Prez in a lot of trouble. Actually not going to go down. Bears fan doing oodles of damage, but Boy Nightmare going to go down. Ant-Man picking that one up. Just big fights out of Banana Boys right now. Nothing Fire Nation can do about this onslaught going on in front of their well right now. Ant-Man forced to use his ultimate, but I don't think he's worried about it. A kill onto Real Prez is going to keep him as safe as possible. As well, as safe as he could be, standing under the ashes of... The ultimate from D-Love going to do a little bit of damage. Not going to quite get the knock up there to confirm any other abilities. And it could cost him his life. D-Love going to go down. An extra in hand from Bears fan is going to be what grabs that. Game 1 already looking like it's going the way of Banana Boys. I think Fire Nation, definitely a team that has talent. We've seen them get some good picks, and we've seen them do well in the jungle, but overall, just young and learning. I think they just need to spend a lot more time together and spend a lot of time looking at tapes like this, watching what Bananas Boys does, and not getting too harsh on themselves. That teams like Banana Boys are just so good at taking advantage of disadvantages the enemy team has. Ant-Man gonna go down there, but go for it.
These are the kind of teams that have been playing together. Like they've been waiting for
another beautiful ricochet gonna come out, but what Brony able to get the last hit on that? A couple more auto attacks. Smutty Smurf on a. If that ricochet
was a woman, I would marry it. That's how nice that was.
That was very nice. It was a woman, I'd marry it. Wine and dine. She was pretty. McNugget the cat all this time was just pushing up that left lane. Minions aren't available for him right now to grab that tower, so I think grouping up with his teammates, also a pretty good choice. Real Prez in a lot of trouble too. The knock-up going to be good. One more in-hand would do it if he wants to pursue that in the fountain. That'd be interesting, but not going to quite do it. Bears fan playing just safe enough to make sure that Real Prez remained alive. Little bit of action going on in... Again, Bears fan trying to get the kill and just getting cut short. Just go for it.
Going into game 2, what do you think Fire Nation needs to improve?
Would everything be a bad answer?
No, it would be an answer. Not a bad answer. Not necessarily
I think Fire Nation, these fights in the jungle haven't been going very great in their favor, but I have seen them get some decent picks, so definitely keep going for picks, but overall you need to play smarter, safer, not get poked out, not lose the farm game. There's just so many things that Banana Boys was able to force them into doing, which was just too much for them right now. I don't think there's really anything they can do to reduce the onslaught from Banana Boys right now, as they are an inexperienced team, but they can make game 2 closer if they just clean up their play and play safer and make sure that they just don't die. But at the same time, when they do that, they get out-farmed so heavily by Banana Boys.
I mean, yeah, and if Banana Boys gets overconfident and then Fire Nation finds a chance, I feel like they could get they could possibly steal a win from them. I mean,
potentially.
I would be pretty confident after this kind of win, but we've seen it cost teams before.
I will give that a potentially. I mean, it could, it really could, but it'd have to be a completely new team. This Fire Nation team isn't working very well right now against Banana Boys, sitting at a 15,000 gold lead, and when it's 46,000 gold to 31,000 gold, you feel that 10,000 gold lead hitting you really, really hard. Fire Nation is getting melted right now. All of the damage from Banana Boys is just way too much for them right now. Subs Envy looking like he's going to be the next victim. Nothing they could do about it. Ant-Man with a triple kill, looking for a quadra kill. A couple more abilities should be what grabs it. I think just outside of the Timber, though. I lied about it. Ant-Man with a quadra kill on that Sun Wukong. Good for him. Bears fan able to pick himself up a go. Nah, Penta's not going to happen, but Real Press is over in the left lane anyways. Bears fan looking at that tier 2 tower right now. Just looking at the level difference. Smutty Smurf sitting at level 15 comparing to their highest level, which is their Neath at level 12. Real Prez sitting at level 8 on that Awilix compared to Smutty Smurf. That's almost a double difference. Smutty Smurf also has almost has double the levels of the enemy junglers, so just a tribute to Smutty Smurf being definitely one of the least talked about, but one of the best junglers, I think, in this league right now. Real Prez deleted. Smutty Smurf looked at him and said, "I don't want you there anymore," and so it was.
That is the word.
Just dominance right now coming out of Banana Boys. I think after they got this Phoenix, the Titan should definitely be their next mark, and they could probably go burst that down. Gets nearing a 20,000 gold lead. Ant-Man is on a rampage. Had he not died those 2 times, he'd be 11-0, but he did die those 2 times. Huge chunks of damage coming out of What Brony on that Bacchus, underestimating the amount of damage he can do. Smutty Smurf, another massive chunk of damage, just not afraid to go into that well right now. All of the damage from Banana Boys is going to be what picks them up right now. Smutty Smurf got himself a double kill of the damage from his ultimate, able to clean them up right now. Nothing Fire Nation can do. Titan is on the board right now at
killed him well,
17 minutes. Even before 17 minutes, Banana Boys had every single tower. They'd gotten a Portal Demon. They'd gotten a Fire Giant. And they sieged the Phoenix at 1747. That is absolute dominance coming out of Banana Boys.
I'm not going to say it wasn't. I'm not going to say it was. This.
You're trying to be. You're trying to be too neutral. You're trying to be too. I'm not saying Fire Nation is bad, and I will not say a team is bad, but I will say that they look young, they look inexperienced. There's a lot they need to learn. Their lanes were kind of sloppy, and because Banana Boys had none of those problems, they were able to roll over them. I think Fire Nation has potential, but it's going to take a lot of time for them. They're definitely a Demigod League team, and I hope that that's where they learn and grow and eventually come to the Titan League and compete. But for right now, they're food for Banana Boys.
I mean, I just really, really hope. I hope and dream that they can come back, they learn from this, they're not discouraged from this at all.
Absolutely.
I mean, I remember when I first started out, my team, me and my teammates were just learning to work with each other.
Sure.
It did not go well. There were times where we lost, like horribly, but what we did after we ended the yelling, you know, because sometimes you get frustrated, you're passionate about the game, you want to do better, so on and so forth. But what we did is we sat down, we talked, like, what went wrong? And everyone was like, yep, I totally missed that, and that was my fault here. You know, you have to be willing to accept the fact that you made a mistake. And I don't think certain people can do that. But the teams that have players that can do that, can accept their faults, can improve themselves, are willing to improve themselves, are the teams that are going to go all the way. They may start off in Demigod League, but for all you know, maybe 1-2 seasons of this, they're sitting at the top in Titan League, and they're up there doing amazing stuff. I can only wait and see, but I am very, very hopeful that that's what I see from a lot of teams. I don't want to insult any team. I don't want to discourage any team. I mean, I am technically the league director. I don't know what I call myself. I don't even really.
And I guess it's gonna stay one big long video. I'm already starting into game 2.
Yeah, me too. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. But
anyway, the first band gonna be a Carnonoose. The second one gonna be an Odin. Gonna take that off the table. Band's probably going to come through pretty quick here and see what gods they want. Smutty Smurf could reprise that Opwash, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it banned, interestingly enough, if they wanted to, on the side of Fire Nation, but that'd be dangerous to leave a Susanoo open.
I would never leave Susanoo open, not right now. His new passive is interesting. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's going to... What, is it 4 stacks?
Yeah, the main issue... 4
stacks or 5 stacks?
It's 4 stacks, but the main issue with Susanoo before was that he was able to dump every single ability into a god and literally walk away. Which is a crazy concept considering with all that extra movement speed, he has almost double the movement speed, so you have to dash at him. You have to waste an ability in order to walk behind him and keep up. So, I'm really glad that bullshit, excuse me, BS ability, that BS passive got removed. It was annoying. I'm glad this damagey looking one came through. Smutty Smurf immediately locking in a Neath for his team. McNugget the Cat taking a little bit more time to decide what they want to do.
Can you contact one of them? Tell them no mastery skins, please.
Active Slaking will be receiving a message shortly.
If he goes into the game with it, then I'm just gonna have to. And any skins that we miss in the stream, if you message us and say, hey, there's a skin that you missed that you didn't call out, you know, because it's hard to keep track with the list sometimes. If you just message us privately, it will get dealt with eventually, probably by the end of the week, you know, before it's relevant, because the player will be suspended for the next week's game. That'd be much appreciated. Thank you.
For sure. I just read the rules, brush up on them. It's easy to forget one. We had a Dark Lord Sun Wukong. In Hyle's game, we'd see him changing his skin right there. So he definitely received the message.
That was Hun.Bats. Hun.Bat.
And there was another game with a Dark Lord Sun Wukong. The Dark Lord one definitely slipped by slipped under our radar. Anyways,
the infamous
Guile and Equilibrium, correct? Yes.
Yes, that was the infamous game that made us put only two sub restriction on.
Yes.
That is kind of. I mean, it's a good rule. It's a good rule. It's a great rule. I love the rule, but it's kind of just such a big rule to add in the middle of the season.
Yeah, and I think it was definitely necessary equilibrium using that forced up rule a little outside what we had intended it to be there for, which was simply to allow flexible schedules to shine through for a team instead of just creating a brand new one with the 4 sub spots. So for sure, not a big
I
deal.
mean,
Honestly, they still. I don't think the outcome would have been much different. However, limiting that to 2 subs will keep a team's identity together and not allow a captain to just go and find 4 brand new players and put a team together willy nilly. Poseidon, Wheelix, Neath going to be picked on the side of Banana Boys. I think going for the exact same draft that Fire Nation had this last game. Going to take all of those characters and show them how it's actually played. Kind of an ouch, get in their heads kind of moment. If I was Fire Nation, don't let it get into your head that they're picking your gods. But they're actually able to grab the Sun Wukong and take that away from Ant-Man if he was thinking about going that. However, Wet Brony, if he wants to follow the trend, he'd have to pick up a Chalk or a... who was their support? A Kumbhakarna.
the Chalk was banned and the Kumba was banned as soon as they realized what was going on. Like, no,
that's actually
no, we don't care about the meta.
So,
you're not gonna disrespect us like this.
Aphrodite gonna be hovered on and locked in, probably going into the support role or the solo role. We'll have to see what Ant-Man picks up, but Aphrodite, a fun character.
You don't understand, Tyner, but it's Afro for life. It gotta be Afro solo for life.
Afro's fun. I think Afro's fun.
You see what I have to deal with here, people? He's so neutral sometimes. He can counter everything I say.
I used to play a lot of Aphrodite back in my PC days. I took Aphrodite solo all day, but that was back in the good old days. I don't play much Aphrodite anymore, and when she shows up in duo lane, I eat her alive. So.
I mean, just voicing my own opinion here, but Afro in the in this current meta with anti-heal is so prominent because of Bracer kind of falls off.
Yeah, for sure. Afro doesn't really do well. There's not a whole lot Afro provides, so I'll push hovered on and locked in. Probably gonna. I don't know where they're gonna put that. I cannot predict their comp. But Ant-Man's gonna take that Opwash into the solo lane this time. Somebody Smurf gonna use the Wheelix. Somebody Smurf on a meta pick on a god that is pretty good. Gonna definitely be lucky to rip. Meta in the league.
I mean, people may not agree with the SP put on her in the league, but her performance states otherwise.
For sure. So,
no, that's right. It reminds me, we have to
coming
do
out
another
of
video.
Fire Nation, I think you just gotta play safe and try and stop the bleeding everywhere as much as you can. You have characters that can snowball and carry. If you try to get the real Prez online, are they switching up roles? It looked like D-Love and Real Prez needed to switch up there, but maybe they're just a little bit more comfortable on their respective gods and going different roles. Excuse me, but we'll see.
D-Love is on what side?
D-Love is on Fire Nation, and he was the mid laner last game.
I mean, you know what could be is, like, after that performance, you want to take a step back from your role. And as like what the whole point of the league is, like, flexibility, learning how to play in a competitive setting, getting competitive, and then getting good. Sometimes you just need to take a step back from your role after a major takedown and place another role and just evaluate how the enemy jungler plays without having to play against them. I mean, it may sound dumb, but mid laners and junglers usually end up in the same place, and you can see a lot of what they do together. I mean, a lot of what they do.
Sure. I don't mind it, and I think if it does wind up getting them a win, or at least helping out their mid lane, that'd be a good move. But I think looking at this game afterwards and watching how somebody Smurf plays his character and watching his rotation, and even on an Opwash where it might be a little bit hard to get good, tangible information from that to put into your own jungle game, you could watch where he walks, you could watch his pathing, you can watch how he jukes and become just a more overall better jungler just by watching. But for sure, that's just something that's going to take a lot of experience. On a Wheelix, you'll definitely learn a lot about how he uses that character, so that'll be a good learning experience for them, but we'll see.
I know. So what kind of builds do you expect out of the side of Fire Nation?
I don't know, because last game I saw solo laners start with Ninja Tabi and Teleport, and honestly, ever since that, I can't really predict them. I'd probably expect the Hou Yi to build a Death Tool Boots, and Janice to pick up a Vampiric Shroud, and whatever basic season 2 starts that they want to try and mimic from before. That Ninja Tabi wasn't in any way meta, so I don't know what to predict, but we'll find
You know
out.
what? Sometimes you just gotta make your own meta, and that may sound dumb. Oh god, I'm gonna get so chewed out for this later.
What?
I just said something really dumb. My bad.
Sometimes you gotta make your own meta. Yeah, you don't make the meta.
Yes.
The meta
Yeah,
is,
no, the pros
and
make
the meta will come. Well, the meta will arise through the pros, and it will trickle down through everybody, and it will become the law.
The meta is law. Respect the law.
The meta is the law. Just taking a couple minutes here. There's only so much I could talk about. Banana Boys absolutely handed Fire Nation a big fat L, served on a hot plate with gravy all over it. So maybe Fire Nation can come back and give them a taste of their own medicine, but after this second game, I think Banana Boys will be pretty confident after probably getting the 2-0, and Fire Nation going to have a lot of time to reflect and watch how they were playing. But finally, loading into the game at least a little bit here. Subs Envy never played Sun Wukong before? Maybe?
I am jealous of B-Boy Nightmare right now.
Because of the Heaven Zero skin?
Yep.
It's a good skin. I like the Heaven Zero skin. I'm definitely going to be getting that skin pretty quick. I love heavenly skins. I am a good person and not a bad person skins. Just
no, the only reason
skins.
I want that skin is because of High School DxD.
What?
Yeah, don't even question it. Don't worry about it. You don't need to worry about the dark side.
I'm not worried about it.
Exactly. Don't worry about it. Don't question things. See, it's already working.
You got it.
You're
Aphrodite on what
you.
Brony, who is the support, so that's probably going to be a Nice Aphrodite combination over in that duo lane. So an Aphrodite usually and should be pretty easy kills for Fire Nation to get. However, I think the way Banana Boys plays, they're not going to let it happen very easy, and I don't think Fire Nation is going to be able to pick it up as easily as they might think they want to, but whatever the result may be, will be, and we'll just have to watch the game and find out.
I mean, do you think Afro's a good support? I mean, in my opinion, I'll say my opinion until after your opinion, but what's your opinion on that?
Aphrodite is not viable in the support lane simply because of being squishy at level 1 makes her pretty easy to get first blood. You just run at her, and if you have a horrific emblem, you just pop that and you continue to run at her. If you have any form of CC, you just use it and you usually get a kill. So just too squishy, too risky, and the payoff late game isn't what you think it is. A lot of people think, yeah, Aphrodite's so good because late game I'm healing for 200 something and I can tank everything. Well, not really the case when you're forced to build items like Sovereignty, Heart Ward, Thebes. You can throw in the Lotus Crown, but after that you're not sitting on much power. Your heal is only ticking for the base amount plus a little bit of power. It's not good, and when you differ away from that and you build something like a Rod of Asclepius, or you decide to go a Chrono Spending and get some power, it doesn't really work out that well, as you're a lot squishier, and Aphrodite only has the Kiss for CC, has a little bit of a knockback with that second ability, with the stand back or whatever it's called, but we'll see how what Brony plays out over in that duel lane.
I'm pretty sure that's called the restraining order.
Anyways,
I mean, there's all viable points, but I don't think Rod of Asclepius is a bad item, and Giannis getting beat up here. And gonna pop Bracer. But Willis is on him.
You're a little ahead of me, but yeah, a lot of damage going on to Real Prez. The Prez gonna save him, the Bracer gonna be what saves him for just a little while. Not gonna find the damage as Smite Smurf. Only one half of an auto attack away from going down there. The response from Fire Nation is going to be to a tune of a 4-man grouping up in mid lane to try and bail out the Real Prez, but I don't think it's a smart move. You're splitting all that farm in mid lane. It's just a win for everybody else across the map. They're able to solo push their waves, and already you give a team like Banana Boys pressure, you're gonna be hurting. D-Love in a lot of trouble right now. Another auto attack would do it, but again, Smutty Smurf not able to find the extra half an auto attack to get the kill. I think smiling big to himself right now, knowing that that was potentially 2 first blood plays in a row, but unfortunately not going to go his way over. Sending people back to the base is a huge win for a jungler. That speed buff is now in his hands. McNugget to Cat, however, I didn't quite see exactly how that went out. However, Real Prez overstayed his welcome in that mid lane and gave up first blood.
We're pulling a basic. That's how
A
it went down.
colorful female character with the wings?
Oh, Jingwei.
Yeah. The name...
Yeah, why?
Somebody in chat said, what's the name of the colorful female character with wings? And I was going to say, yeah, Jingwei is probably what, but Jingwei is not in this game. Ant-Man going to get himself a kill over in that solo lane. A gank from Smite Smurf is going to help him get that. Ant-Man already getting himself on the board. And Banana Boys already seeing themselves in a pretty big lead early, already seeing about a 400. I lied, about a 1,400 gold lead, so gotta be careful.
The only one that is colorful and female in this game would be Smutty Smurf on a Wheelix, I guess. But she has a Puma, not wings.
Yeah, not too colorful. Definitely probably thinking of the Jingwei there. If I'm thinking about a colorful character with wings, possibly Aphrodite, but there's no wings on that witch right now.
He could be talking about Hou Yi, thinking he's a beautiful woman, but that's a man.
Potentially. Not a chick. Yeah, if you're talking about Hou Yi right here, that's not a chick.
Nope. Sorry, it's point.
A lot of damage coming out in this mid lane. I think D-Love going to see if he can't try and grab that kill, but no, not going to find it. Not enough damage coming out of him, plus it's just a little bit too risky. Sitting at level 2 is the mid and jungle right now for Fire Nation, so Smutty Smurf taking a bunch of poke damage, but this is game 2. Game 1 went the way of Banana Boys very convincingly. Smutty Smurf in a lot of trouble. D-Love able to pick him off early. Those are the kind of plays that you want to see. McNugget the Cat hitting a little bit of damage from that ultimate. Might not be enough to grab the kill here, however. A couple of auto attacks will secure the kill. Good damage coming out of McNugget Cat. That would have been quicker had he hit that Kraken right where it needed to be, though.
Give that McNugget some Szechuan sauce. He's done.
Give that McNugget. Dunk him in sauce. He's playing tasty.
Exactly. It's preferably Szechuan sauce. Once again, folks, we here at Smite PSL prefer Szechuan sauce.
The active slaking really poked out both characters over in this duel. They need to find their way back to the base pretty soon. Otherwise, I guarantee you the ultimate out of that Neath as soon as she hits 5, which he just did, which might cost B-Boy Nightmare his life if they find the shot. Bears fan charging it up, but he got back to base in just enough time. That was a dangerous situation, but they very, very intelligently went back to base there. So 4-1 already for Banana Boys. Big damage coming out. Ant-Man in a lot of trouble over here. Smutty Smurf is there to bail him out. This could be 2 kills for him, and it will be. Ant-Man able to pick up that second one, but both the jungler and the solo lane are going to go down. Ant-Man almost finding himself back in the well, but instead going to send 2 members of the opposing team back into theirs. Real Prez in a lot of trouble again here in this mid lane. Oh yes, Smutty Smurf wanted to laugh spam, seeing his teammate almost go down. He comes in and finds 2 players going back to their well. The urge to laugh spam at them is so strong. Kraken coming out, McNugget the Cat able to grab the kill onto the Real Prez, overstaying his welcome and not taking into account that ultimate timer that was definitely used on him in the last fight. So again, sloppy mistakes being made by my Fire Nation.
I believe that's
big damage coming out over. I believe Smutty Smurf as well. Anyways, over in dual lane, a lot of damage coming out onto active slaking. I didn't see it, but McNugget the Cat will pick himself up another kill after contesting that speed buff. 8-1 right now. Banana Boys in a huge lead. McNugget wanted that speed buff, but Smutty Smurf just going to refresh his timer. So already just in a pretty big lead is Banana Boys, and I don't see it going away anytime soon.
Man, like, the fact that he didn't last from there just shows a lot of maturity on his part there, which we gotta thank him for.
Good job. Good on you, Alex Miller. Yeah, I know your name.
I have no idea who he is.
He's a really cool guy. Very agreeable. I like him a whole lot. A little bit of contention going on here at this damage buff. The Ricochet going to do some decent damage, however. A lot more damage coming out of Fire Nation right now. It's going to send a few members of Banana Boys on their heels right now. What Brony's got to be careful. He's probably going to be the next victim, and he will be. Real Prez getting himself a double kill, trying to look for 3, maybe teleporting a little bit too far to find that there. Bears fan's going to be just fine. But a retaliation coming out of Ant-Man, able to get himself a kill. 2 kills for him, grabbing 2 members of Fire Nation out of this fight. The active slaking able to pick himself up a kill as well. So a 3-for-1 trade going the way of Banana Boys early. Real Prez is in a lot of trouble. Ant-Man's probably going to be pursuing that for a little while longer. Without mana, Real Prez is going to have a lot of trouble. Bears fan
Real
able
Prince
to
picked up 2 kills at the beginning, and then Ganesh picked up 1 at the end. So that was a 3-for-3 trade.
Yes. Not quite gonna find that there.
Good job for Fire Nation there.
Good job for Fire Nation to retaliate. To retaliate to a degree that stops the bleeding a little bit, but even then you're so far behind it doesn't even matter. You don't even have all of your ultimates online. Your jungler is not sitting on that ultimate, which allows Smite Smurf to come in and easily bail out his solo laner. B-Boy Nightmare G going to be the next victim. Smite Smurf getting himself a double kill. 4, 2, and 6 on that Oelix so far.
Great job by Real Prez there. I mean, focusing on the positive here. But
Real Prez got a double kill, and I think that's going to be something that he's going to brag about to his team, even if they did have pretty bad losses. He could just tell them, hey, I got a double kill, you didn't.
Exactly. Anyways, were you surprised to see that Shifter Shield didn't get a nerf at all?
I think Shifter Shield is interesting because to the same tune that it provides a lot of damage for your abilities, the sustainability is actually not all of what it's cracked up to be. Without something like a Transcendence to keep your mana bar full at all times, you actually eat through all of your mana using all of those abilities. Big ultimate coming out of McNugget the Cat, gonna eat Real Prez alive. That is a that is a Kraken that will not be hungry anymore. The act of slaking
right in the middle of it.
Right in the middle of it. I'm gonna take every last bit of that damage from that Kraken. Feels bad.
Terrifying.
Elementals are going to be the next. The ultimate from Bears fan is going to pick up D-Love there in that engagement over in that right jungle. The active slaking bailed himself out earlier, but going back in should find himself back in the well. Silence going to keep him alive a little bit longer. Ant-Man going to find that there. The ultimate out of B-Boy Nightmare is going to keep the members of Banana Boys off him for just a half a second longer, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Not anymore. However, Real Prez able to pick himself yet another kill. McNugget the Cat going down. A little bit more damage from him, and he could find himself another double, but still, you got to be careful. Ant-Man able to pick himself up a kill. Huge burst of damage coming out of that op wash. Smutty Smurf going on to Real Prez. The retaliation from Fire Nation is there, but I don't think it's going to find them anything other than sadness. However, Real Prez doing a great job on this Janus right now, just finding himself in the correct places and where he needs to be to pick himself up kills. 4 and 5 is a lot better than what it was this last game.
I've said this, you've heard me say this, but I think Giannis is a fantastic mid, just because he can rotate with his ult. He's a fantastic level ult, and Sub's gonna die to tower.
That's rough. Just a, pretty big mistake.
It happens.
What burn are you gonna ride that? Actually, I did not know that skin does that. You can just ride the broom. That is awesome. That is really radical. That is really radical.
That's freaking fantastic. Excuse my
Slaking King, the ultimate from Bears fan, gonna pick him up. Those ultimates out of that Neath are being used a lot better. Another ability out of him should bring the end to B-Boy Nightmare. McNugget the Cat somewhere across the map was able to find himself a kill. Not gonna find that there so far is McNugget. Is Bears fan 54, but whatever.
I mean, the score is already better. I mean, it's 7-21, but they're learning. Like I said, the growth has been fantastic, even in between games. I mean, I'm sure that Fire Nation seems like a pretty chill group of people. So I think they might go back, ask their opponents what they did wrong, how they can get some help, and hopefully their opponents will reply with some nice words and some actual advice.
For sure, and I think this is just all, again, a learning experience for teams like Fire Nation that are trying to find their traction in these games against bigger teams that are just so tough to go up against and do well against. Ant-Man actually going to go down there. That's Tier 1 tower not quite going to go down, but a little bit of a sneeze coming out of Banana Boy is going to clean that up. Lots of damage coming out so far. No kills thus far. Smutty Smurf, I think, going to push the issue if he can try and go in there and grab himself a kill. Real Prez right behind him. Just a little bit of an engagement. Actually, Subs Envy. That was good damage coming out of Real Prez, and it was quickly followed up by Subs Envy to get themselves the kills. So a whole lot of good things going on for Fire Nation right now, getting the picks that they need to stay at least somewhat relevant in a game that they're down 7,000 gold.
I mean, the Giannis is doing fantastic.
Yes, he is. Real Prez is getting every bit of admiration from me right now. Able to stick with it. And their solo laner on this Sun Wukong, I didn't see any masteries on it. McNugget the Cat getting himself a double kill. I assume that Kraken came through and ate them alive. Whoa, my throat did something interesting there. Bears, yes, it was. Bears fan able to grab himself a kill. A surrender vote started, so I think Fire Nation might be looking to give this one up pretty early, but we'll see.
I wouldn't give this up. I mean, you stuck it through the other game, right?
Sure.
You're just gonna get in trouble. Okay?
Sure.
That's all you have for you. You get in trouble, but you're learning. I mean, the Giannis is obviously learning. He's like keeping up these rotations, doing a fantastic job of it. I mean, the ultimate's there. I mean, just take the time to learn it. Focus on your farm, focus on what your opponents do, and put down wards.
Absolutely. But yeah, pushing up all three lanes at once right now. That's duo lanes in a bit of a trouble. Bears fan taking quite a bit of damage between the Ganesh and the Hou Yi. Not going to find that ricochet there. A couple of in-hand should be what grabs Bears fan. However, the damage out of B-Boy Nightmare is actually going to pick him up, able to get himself on the board with his first kill of the game. Although his build is definitely makes me kind of cringe as a hunter player, going after building full Ninja Tabai, grabbing Death Toll, and then going rank 2 crit. I'm gonna go ahead and say that that's a pretty bad build, buddy. But you live and you learn.
I prefer attack speed and crit, just straight up attack speed and crit, and maybe one.
I guess I don't really mind the Ninja Tab I pick up. It's more viable in the carry role than it is in the solo lane, but still, starter items and Bumba's Mask are both so good. McNugget the Cat already having that ultimate back online, gonna pick up the active slaking. The ultimate out of D-Love gonna land onto 2, but so far not looking like there's any kill potential for him, and he's gonna be going down very prominently. D-Love, what Brony able to get himself another kill. B-Boy Nightmare in a lot of trouble too. Bears fan, a couple of auto attacks are gonna pick that up. That's a deicide for Banana Boys. I think that Fire Giant's probably going to be their next target here after they clear that wave, and it will be grouping up as 5 right now. Is Banana Boys first Fire Giant of the game is going to be going their way.
If the active can get there to pop his ultimate on that Fire Giant,
there is no way. They are burning through this way too quickly. There's so much damage online for them right now. Yeah, only 3 minutes after that Fire Giant spawns, they're able to grab that. Another quick and efficient Fire Giant for Banana Boys. Real Prez gonna get himself a little bit of a victory there. Gonna pick up a kill onto their enemy, but Bears fan gonna reprise that death by picking Real Prez with a double kill so far.
I mean, looking at the Ganesh build, he's
triple kill. Triple kill for Bears fan. Who's building selfish?
Ganesh.
The build for him so far was just a breastplate of valor, I think. Definitely no bueno. You're not helping your team out at all by not building that sovereignty as your first physical item, and already it's either going to be a Book of Thoth or Soul Reavers. So I don't like the build, and it's going to harm his team in the long run, but I don't think we're going to see the effects of the long run. So a Phoenix Siege right now, so much damage coming out of Banana Boys. McNugget the Cat not going to find a very big Kraken, but it's going to do enough damage to discourage Fire Nation from doing anything other than watching Banana Boys do whatever they want to do. Yep. Damage out of B-Boy Nightmare is pretty significant, but not enough so far to get him any kills or to give his team any hope of winning this game. Bears fan only needs a couple more abilities to pick him up, but not going to find that there. Bears fan in a bunch of trouble here, actually. He can take enough damage here to die very easily. Fire Nation has the characters online right now to pick him up if they need to. A double Spirit Arrow is going to keep him alive so far. The heals are going to be plentiful as well. Bears fan going to find himself a kill out of the issue.
I mean, I can understand the Ganesh's wanting
McNugget the Cat picking himself up a kill, and you got to be careful right now. B-Boy Nightmare is going to be the next victim here. What Brony, the back off there is going to get the kill for him.
You're going to get those hiccups real bad.
I know, yeah, that's killing me right now.
Thank God you're not going to be broadcasting after this game, I don't think.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if there's another game, but Bears fan, another kill for him. 14-1-3 on that knee. Transcendence, attack speed boots, and a fully stacked rage. He's swinging pretty hard.
Oh, and on broadcasting, though, if you guys haven't been broadcasted yet, let me know. There's apparently been a few teams that didn't have many broadcasts. and I've been
The ultimate
getting
from
complaints.
D-Love is going to be nullified completely by Bears fan, quickly using that backflip to avoid that damage. Stun coming out of BY Nightmare is going to do pretty distant. Four members of Fire Nation there to try and pick him up, but I don't think they're going to find it here. The Smutty Smurf just ripping through them right now to keep his Hunter alive. That was a massive amount of healing. Bears fan not worried at all right now, going to head right back into it. Subs Envy looking like he's going to be the next victim. Ant-Man picking himself yet another kill. 7-2 and 14 on that op watch. Look at those assists right now. Banana Boys in a team fight. Banana Boys in a team fight are absolutely impossible to stop right now.
I agree. But you know what? You know what the real problem here is for Fire Nation?
What's the real problem with Fire Nation?
They don't have a Najah.
You're right. I think the Najah definitely would have gotten them 15 pentakills minimum, and they would be rolling over Banana Boys right now. McNugget the Cat gonna get himself a double kill. Good for him. Smutty Smurf getting himself another kill. Only 2 members of Fire Nation alive right now. Triple kill for McNugget the Cat. Doing so well in this game as well as last game on these mages. Smutty Smurf gonna get himself on a rampage. Deicide going the way of Banana Boys. They have every right to go on that Titan right now, and I think they have plenty of time to. Just a little bit of damage going. Smutty Smurf decided to go back to base, but I don't think it matters. The game is going the way of Banana Boys. 2-0 for them so far.
But we see that's the end of the set. But what you don't understand here is that Najah looks like someone from the Fire Nation.
I'm
From
not picking
Avatar?
up on it.
Haven't you ever seen Avatar?
Oh, I've seen Avatar. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he looks like he's someone from the Fire Nation, doesn't he?
Yes, ha ha, you're so funny. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. That was 2-0. Banana Boys very easily handling Fire Nation, grabbing them, picking them up, and putting them in a trash can with one finger. That's putting it pretty rudely. That's putting it pretty rudely.
You can't pick up someone with one finger. You have to do it with like the.
Are you gonna tell me that Banana Boys
hands?
did not pick them up with one finger and put them in a trash can?
No, they gave him a hug and then they took him outside.
Right. This was definitely a display of love. Look at that gold per minute. Those are assault numbers. Those are joust numbers. 663 minute on your hunter, 685 on your mid laner, 600 gold on every single character but your support. That's assault numbers. Crazy. Banana Boy is such a good team. Everybody should be.
Battery, I guess.
Assault and battery. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Tyner57, partnered with the Reaper 01, casting this game for you. We'll be back for the next one.